can get going. I just had a lot of little things to get going or get ready before this. This is my second ever stream, so... But anyway, recap from yesterday. We had gotten it installed, like, 3 or 4 times. Kept trying to get the network card working, to no success. And then I found that QEMU just kept eating the content of the hard drive, and that's where we left off. I have since recompiled QEMU to the latest version instead of what was in brew. Hopefully, I haven't seen it corrupt the drives at all yet, so hopefully it's fixed. But, oh, hey, Velociraptors! Let's get started. Oop. Looks like we are still booting to the drive that I set up this afternoon. I want to reinstall anyway, because we have junk like this going on. I love this method of just messing up a system. Just write zeros to the hard drive while the system is running. Anyway, let's get back to the installer. Oh, has anybody mailed Potter yet? Oh wait, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this the wrong way? I forgot. I added this. I can run it in curses mode now, so we can actually see. I can actually zoom in on what's going on. And it's in a nicer font. Curses, what can go wrong? Well, we're installing Slackware right now, so just about everything. Okay, so... Matilda, I don't need comments from the peanut gallery over here. Now, I forget how to change floppies without the menus. I should have figured this out before I started streaming. I don't want any of your cookies. Change floppy 0. Yeah, I love and hate the QEMU curses mode. It's nice because you don't have to spawn up a new window, and you can have your fonts can actually be nice instead of the really awful built-in VGA font. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Hi, I forget where I have things. Let's move things around so we can actually see what's going on. I love it how it's in cylinders, not blocks. But we're also going to breeze through the installer again. Just because we've seen it so many times at this point. But that's kind of a thing with old Linux, especially old Slackware, is you just see the installer so often. Oh, did you make it too quiet, Trixie? Here, how's this? I've got the volume on maximum gain there. I can probably adjust it more if it's worse or if it's not better. Yeah. HDA hasn't been a thing for 12, 15 years, something like that. Because they even moved, in Linux, they even moved the old parallel ATA support into the SCSI subsystem. Why does my computer start with C? Wouldn't it start with A? Let's see here, we need X. And we definitely need Y, because I want to get Doom running before we're done with Slackware 3. Let's see. C is for cassette. Press play on tape. No, this is a straight up source port. This is from 1995. It's included on the discs. Wait, I don't know when the last time I played around with a PCMCIA card was. That's just Jed and Joe. But we have Vim. Yeah, remember Card Bus? That was something that was weird. Trying to cram a PCI bus onto a connection standard that was made as a pluggable version of the ISA standard. You do? Is it any good? I mean, I guess it would have to be if you're still using it. Yeah. I'm surprised ExpressCard didn't take off, because shit, everything is adopting PCIe these days. Everything. I don't know if any of you have seen the new I don't know if it's a proposal or if it's been ratified, but I saw something with SD cards that adds some more connector pads, and those are just PCIe lanes. It's just also Perl, but this was before Python. And we might as well put the only source control revisioning system on here, RCS. Yeah, it really can. I mean, there is the unfortunate case that everything's external, though. I did like the convenience of having the card for whatever I was using in the system. Like, having external things just kind of hanging off a laptop is kind of a pain, but... Oh, it was from 90? I thought it wasn't until 1995 that it was introduced. Pardon me. But then again, languages usually take a little while to start getting their getting into the swing of things. Yeah, I think the main reason it didn't take off for a while is the computer industry for the longest time was just, and there's still some people who are trapped in this mentality, but in the open source world it was, if you're not experiencing the pain of open source, you're really not experiencing open source. And if anything, Perl is the pain of open source. Still want to know what these two experimental X servers are. Yeah, it really is. I'm so glad that people are pushing back on it. Sorry for coughing so much. I nearly choked on my beer earlier. See? Doom. Doom 1.8. Not even the latest version. And it's, they have both the SVGA lib and the X versions here. Funny thing about the SVGA lib version of Doom. So back in college, my operating systems class, the final project of it was to, or the whole thing was to create an operating system pretty much from scratch. You were given like a basic print K and some other very, very bare bones framework. My team ended up discarding all of the framework that they gave us. We started from scratch, and for the competition at the end, we decided that our goal was to use Doom, or to have it play Doom. The problem in this was that we thought the SVGA lib version would be the ideal one to use because it should just talk right to the hardware, and if we just gave it that, it should just work. Turns out we were flat out wrong, and it was the worst possible choice. And we didn't end up getting Doom running, which meant we only won second place because we won on every technical aspect, except it wasn't flashy enough. That probably is Tilda snoring. She is underneath my chair and out. My modem speed is 300. Yes, bus mice. Let's just put an I/O port on the ISA bus and just took the mouse directly up to that. Nope, page up and page down still don't work, even though I'm using the Curses version instead of... So it must just be that they just don't have it being read or something. All right. Let's give it a reboot, and let's see if we can build a kernel with networking support. I'm gonna need the other kernel source, aren't I? Because we were not able to get either card working under 13.20, so I do still have ARG in here, so hey, back in these days, you had no choice but to build a kernel. But then again, it's not as bad as what Ada was saying about the about some old versions of Unix. Is you had to rebuild your kernel to change your IP address. Here, I should probably make that a CD. So did I delete that? I think I did. Yeah, I deleted that. Let me go and grab the 1.3.100 source code again. Yeah, I think QEMU was reaching for the wrong character. Let's see here, kernel 1.3. We've been here before. I don't think I have X unzip on this. I think it's a little new. Yeah, it is the upper end of ASCII, whatever code page VGA is by default. No, it's actually going to be one of the VGA characters, not the VT100 line drawing characters. don't tools just tell you the help? Why do they tell you to look at the help? Just give me the help. Actually, do. So, Kemu has to know the right character to reach for, so it's getting most of the line drawing characters right in Unicode. So it is Kemu that needs to know that. Oh, dang it. Where's my OBS? Let me move that to the other side. I have a tendency to put things on this side anyway, so. See here, and now where's the other one? And now it's covering that. I've got a really professional thing going on here. You know, total pro streamer here I am. I mean, I always ran with ANSI.sys when I was back in my DOS days, except for when I needed that, like, 5 extra K. I could have, but that did not even cross my mind. Do I have the CD-ROM link in there? No, I don't. So it's going to be HDC, I think, on this one. Nope. Wait a second. I don't think we have CD-ROM support yet. So I have to build a kernel to build my kernel. CD, and we want to go into user source. Hey, I did not type menu config. I don't know how to parse that, Alon. Mount the new kernel as a fake IDE drive? I'm not even sure what you mean by that. Oh, I can do that, and I probably should have. I could have Gen X2FS a new image, but I forgot to put in more than one disk support into my little awful script that I'm using to start Kemu. So I thought for a bit that this was going to be easier, and I was wrong. But this just means I build another kernel. Which there's probably going to be a bunch of this today. At least it doesn't take the hours upon hours that building a kernel took back in the day. Because as I was saying yesterday, this took me 26 hours to do on a 386. It's not even that much source code. Yeah, and this virtual machine is doing full emulation. It's not even doing it's not even doing real virtualization right now. It's fascinating that you can emulate a Pentium processor on modern hardware that's faster than a actual Pentium processor. I don't think I could build it on Forge because I don't think we have a C compiler that's old enough. I don't think you can actually build this old of a Linux kernel with a modern compiler. Okay, so copy the Arch i386 boot, Z image, PM, LINUZ, new. Lilo. Nice. Yeah, I mean, heck, Apple's, all of Apple's emulations that they've done, emulating 68K, then PowerPC, and now x86, they've all done so amazing. Uh-oh. Aye, killing the interrupt handler. I hope that got logged. Oh, Zippy. Oh, Zippy. Oh. Hey, it did get logged. Oh, that would be why. It does not. Oh, what? It. RPC.msd. Okay, so we might be safe. We might be fine. I don't think you could. Because you'd. I don't think you could run Slack 3 with. You basically have to just rebuild everything, and you'd probably have a huge chain to get a 5x series kernel running on starting with a Slackware 3 install. Like you'd have to bootstrap several layers of GCC, I would think. I mean, I guess if you had a way to bootstrap the kernel, oh wait, no, there were some ABI changes in the right before 2.6, if I remember correctly. I think they stripped ADOT out. I don't remember seeing that in the latest versions. You can get ADOT out back if you use MISC and bring in your own interpreter for it, but direct ADOT out support is gone, I believe. At least I haven't seen it in a while. I don't know. I thought it was gone. I mean, you can't, as I said, you can get it back through MISC, but I don't think it's directly an option anymore. Oh, I probably have to. Yeah, I have to from the days where you couldn't just unzip and untar at the same time. If I go one version of Slackware earlier, I won't be using ELF executables. I'll be using A.out executables. I wonder. Hey, we have menu config! Oh, menu config, I have missed you so much. I mean, this is almost a 2.0 kernel. This is the last version of 1.3. So oh, we could even choose which kind of processor we have nowadays. Let's see here. I'll leave the bug fixes in. I definitely want the Triton chipset support. What do we have under other? Let's just see what this supports. Not that QEMU has any of these. Oh, hey, we can actually we can actually build stuff as module at this point. Yeah, and Pentium is the architecture we want to target because that's what I told QEMU we're emulating. And our first signs of software raid. We are getting into the modern world. I think I picked too new of a kernel. That's okay, we won't tell anybody. We'll just pretend this is like something you'd expect. When was it made? It's only 96, so it's not too much later. Let's see here. What does the help say for this? We don't need no SCSI support. Software RAID has been around for a while. It's gone through a lot of changes though. Like the metadata and the headers and stuff on them have gone through some changes. Let's see here. What do we have? We will need to get any 2000 support. Let's put that as a module. Hopefully it'll build the Tulip driver and won't tell us when we try to install the module it doesn't work. Oh, I think one of the kernel devs has apparently gotten rid of their Zenith Z node because it's no longer selected by default. And nobody cares about this driver in particular because it hasn't been made to be able to be made into a module yet. Ooh, ISDN. Oh, and we have VFAT support too. Okay, character devices. Definitely want the PS2 mouse. Yeah, it was a real shame that they didn't have the long file names in UMS-DOS correspond to the VFAT standard, which would have been really nice. I think that might have actually made UMS-DOS a more viable option back in the day. Oh, we have advanced power management. Maybe I can actually have it powered off. I don't think I have the command to power it off, but I can have the support there for it. Yeah, I can also tell that this is a very early version of menu config because it's just moving things around every time I select something. Let's see, we have a Sound Blaster. We have a Gus in the system. We definitely want the dev DSP and dev audio. Let's see here. Open up my alpha script. And let's see here. The Sound Blaster was 240. Sound Blaster IRQ. I believe I'm not entirely sure if UMS-DOS is older than VFAT or not. It is definitely older than Microsoft's use of VFAT, but somebody else had. I think Microsoft bought this because I do remember seeing a long file names product sold on store shelves in the Windows 3.1 era. And this was shortly before Microsoft had introduced Windows 95 with long file name support. Please enter a decimal value between 1 and 9,999. Does Linux magically give me more IRQs on my system? Give me 1. Give me 5. Don't have one of those. The Gus is on 260. Gus IRQ is 7. And Gus TMA is 3. There are so few options in this version of the kernel. I'm like looking at things thinking, okay, there's got to be at least 5,000 more menus to go through. Yes, be glad you never had to deal with IRQs. And be really glad you never had to deal with jumpers and IRQs. Fiddling with those things was just and then you'd lose the jumpers if you pin assignments on something like an Arduino are nothing compared to IRQs and base I/O addresses and your memory ranges and stuff for old non-plug and play ISA cards. Oh, it was just it sucked because at the time technology really wasn't advanced enough to go and put like a little microcontroller or something or a little memory device on a card so you can store the configuration or have it auto negotiate with other devices in the system. It was the best we could really do because you could alternatively have set device settings per slot, but at the same time systems are going to have different numbers of slots and stuff, and that could limit you there. So it ended up being that just having them set on the card was kind of ideal at the time. But then things that happened in attempts to change that, EISA and microchannel architecture are kind of worse in regards, if you ask me, because both those things, you needed a very specific floppy that came with your computer. If you didn't have that floppy, you just could not change anything on your system. I am going to overwrite the kernel we just built previously because I love to live dangerously. right, let's give this a reboot. Let's see what happens. Let us see if we... Oh, we're booting. That's a good sign. Let's see here. We still have the NIC as being a tulip card, so no network adapter yet, but I don't think we have the module loaded. Nope. So we are going to start doing this again. Are we now, Linux? And you do not tell me what happened. We also crashed again? From rpc.nfsd again. Yep, pretty much. Everything's a file button. I mean, I wasn't necessarily expecting logs from ModProbe itself, but I was hoping that maybe there were a few print Ks in the kernel or in the kernel driver for the tulip card. And foolish mortal me, of course not. I don't have mod info. And I hate you, Linux. If my I already tried, man. A few years too early for documentation, I guess. Let's see here. Drivers net. Let's see. Let's see if there's any obvious. Well, I guess the documentation is in the source file. Okay, so blah blah blah. Board specific settings. No system. Options. So yeah, theoretically, I shouldn't need to set any. I shouldn't need to set any module options. Let's just build it in the kernel. Let's see if that helps. You know how many times I did this back in the day? It just didn't work as a module, so just screw it. build it as a build it into the kernel instead. I'll give insmod a try. I don't think it's going to give us anything more. Lib modules 1.3100 net tulip. Nope. And of course there's no... Is there a verbose option? There's a -v. What does -v do? Ah, yeah. Actually, it's verbose. Ah. And it doesn't get us anything more. I mean, if you want to know what sections we're dealing with, sure, but... Yeah, both insmod and modprobe, you can pass parameters, but I don't know what the parameters are, and theoretically I shouldn't need any, but without mod info, I don't know what the parameters are, and there is no mod info. So let's make dep, make clean, make the image. Did I find the registered netdev call? No, I did not. I didn't know I was looking for one. Also, what? Why? Parse error. Wait, why do you have a null character in that header file? Linux, what are you doing to me? I don't see a null character there. Let's start over. Let's make it Mr. Proper. What? This just worked. What is going... This is cursed. This is really cursed. There's no way I can check that by hand. Yeah, this is not cursed in a good way. This is cursed in a way that I choose to deal with it. didn't think that would fix it. Now... The way of doing things back in the day, if something is just not working right, reboot. Sometimes it'll fix the problem. This time it won't. I think something broke our header file. Well, all right, I guess. Let's go and see if we can find out where that header file might have been and see if we can restore it. What are you talking about? You should be able to... I hate you, old Linux. Just figure it out. So in... No, I didn't think that. Let's see here. We've got Perl on disk, and then I'm guessing what's our disk D2. Actually, why don't we just do this? I think the setup tool might just... What? Oh my god, this version of Linux is so cursed. Transtable. Yes, I need to reinstall the D. Oh, I forgot to change the mode from prompt to quick. We're just gonna install everything because I don't want to even read through it. I wasn't able to wear my trans pride socks today. They were I had already warned them this week. No, I don't need to reconfigure my system. Alright, how's that curse going, Kirsty? Oh, what the heck is going on here? I'm going to say I am going to not mess around with the network driver anymore for a little bit. Because, frankly, I think it'll be more entertaining if we got X Windows up and running. At this point, it's just putting me through more pain. I've already deleted the kernel and re-extracted it. And now I've presumably reinstalled the header files as well, and I'm not sure what the heck this is talking about. Something has corrupted some sort of file, and I mean, I think this should be compatible, actually, because it did build the kernel once. I mean, we got one good build out of it. I'm running 1.3100, which is what I'm trying to build again. But maybe I can't. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If what I'm thinking... Oh... Actually gonna not run it in. Oh, why did this just lock up? What are you doing? What are you doing to me? All right, rip it out by its roots. Let me undo the -T. This way we'll get the native window. Lil. Okay, I guess I did not fix my bother. Well, when all else fails, let's go with VirtualBox. All right, so this I'm gonna put on volume. Volumes. Was it? Yeah. Name is Trilobyte and Linux. Other Linux. Actually, that's as close as we're gonna get. You know what? I'm curious on what it's going to do if it sees a good old 32 gigs of memory. And yes, that's entirely possible for me because I have 64 gigs on this system. No, we don't want 2 gigabytes. We do not want that many gigabytes. We want 500 megabytes. Way overkill. I don't even know if it'll see all the memory. Heck, it might even crash because it has too much memory. I would not put it past early Linux. Let's see here. Make sure we set this to P2X3, PS2 mouse. Let's see here. I'm not even going to try giving it any extra processors or anything. That would be really silly. Let's only make things bad one at a time. Oh, that's a good point. So it should actually see the 4 gigabytes and probably report 2. Let's see here, network, advanced. See here, we got PCNet. I think PCNet's probably what we'll have to deal with. Go with the PCNet PCI, the older version. I don't have a way to that's going to be interesting. There's no DHCP, so I have no clue what the IP address I'm going to need, or the IP settings that VirtualBox is going to want to set. All right, so we might not be able to get. Oh, everything is cursed. Everything is cursed today. I swear. Why are things so cursed? Images, Slackware disk 1. Oh, I need a floppy controller too. Floppy. Add a floppy disk. Add Cambrian cursed Slack 3 images. Boot disk. And juice. I really need to find out why Qemu is corrupting the drive so much. I don't think it's the fault of Linux. Don't think it's Linux's fault. It might be, but I don't think so. Okay, so we want to change our floppy, choose disk file, or disk. Let's see. It's amazing how much faster this is, though. I wonder how that came across through YouTube. 'Cause for me, it was almost a bit seizure inducing. Ow. So presumably those files would have been there. GCM. Yep. Machine. Let's see here. Settings. I could actually make it a little less painful if I give it a bit of an execution cap. A little better, a little bit more period correct. Not much better. Okay, almost there. I think 3 more sections, 2 more sections, 1 more section, and now configuration. Same old, same old. I remember having problems with this, but I don't remember having this many problems. Sending all processes that term signal. Oh yeah, I forgot to remove the floppy from the drive. Because the floppy, or the system will just try to read and execute that floppy disk, and nothing you can do with it. Let's do the XF86 config. Oh dear. Oh my god. This is fucking hilarious. You must do all these tedious, annoying path jiggery pokeries in order to make this work. We have a PS2 mouse. I only have one button. I'm not going to emulate 3 buttons. Not right now. Knowing my luck, if I enabled the meta keys option, I would only be able to type the meta keys and not regular characters. I think I could probably just declare the best one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if I'll have to edit mode lines or not. That's always fun, trying to calculate those out. Let's look at the card database. Let's be in awe of all these ancient video cards. Let's see here. Where do we have? I saw generic VGA. My 386 had an Oak Technologies video card. I don't remember too much about it just because it was so long ago, but these days I'm hearing from everybody that it really sucks. I've owned a couple actually that I've seen on here. The Oaks Technologies, I've had a couple of various ATI or early ATI cards. I don't remember if I saw the Rage in here. I don't think it was listed. I don't think it was out yet. I think I had a Mach 64 at one point. and we go back. See here. I didn't see here. I'm looking to see. So the generic VGA will only get us 16 colors, and there is a super VGA thing. So let's see here. Let me. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the generic VGA. Oh, here we go. Now we can choose to use the Yes, sometimes I don't know my powers of two. What? Oh my god, I forgot about clock chips. I don't... Sure. Let's probe only. Well, it found 25.18 clocks. These modes are okay. Yes. You are a lying liar that lies. I have much more than 64K of memory. Oh my god. Let's see here. Where did we go wrong? I mean, it's probably the video card. The VESA BIOS extensions are probably not communicating things properly, which means we may be only able to get 640 by 480 by 16, which is unfortunate. I wish I could use my page down button. I really wish I could use my page down button. I don't want to do virtual. Nope, didn't think that would work. Yeah, this does not like the Super VGA. card on this. Sigh. I think I'm gonna call the stream early. I'm gonna have to come up with a strategy for this because the big thing is I really need to figure out what is causing Kemu to mess up its drive images. Because what we experience, we shouldn't be seeing that like Lilo keeps failing and that weird corruption we were having on source files and stuff. There's something funny going on there, so I need to double check that. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get X or networking working with Slackware 3 on VirtualBox because the hardware is just too new. So I think I'm going to call it here. So I will let people know when I stream next. It probably won't be for a few days because I want to figure this out. So I guess I will see you all later.